What is going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 326. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I am joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Adam Vale.
Free Sunday.
And Brian Monjoma.
I love how in Monster Hunter, you can literally throw poo at enemies and then they will run away.
Yes. Sometimes this shit don't work, though. they like shit sometimes.
Literally, it doesn't work.
Yeah. All right. What happened with Carlos? He was having some issues, and then he didn't come back.
Yeah. It's either, I was sounding kind of distorted to him, and some other stuff was happening. He was.
Yeah, he'll probably be back.
Angry.
He'll probably restart his computer or some shit.
He made a...
Yeah, we need that.
Brett is Brett of the Wild. He'll show up when he shows up. No real need to vamp. We can just right intro. We got questions tonight.
It's funny. I imagine Brett run. Like that weird run that Link has. I imagine that's what Brett is doing right now.
Yeah.
That little.
He's doing that little run and shit. Does.
Yeah, that little goofy run that Blake has.
I should probably text him. But anyway, I'll do that after I ask the first question. Let's get right into it, man. No BS. No rules pasta, as Manny would say.
Yeah, no rules pasta.
Where's that from? That's fucking Olive
That's
Garden,
Outback.
Right? Yeah. Oh, it's Outback? Okay.
Yeah,
Outback,
no rules pasta, yeah.
All right. Anyway, first question is from Tumeke. All right. Xbox aspires to reach 3 billion gamers, but realistically, how much of an impact will Game Pass have in getting more customers to Xbox via mobile? Xbox Game Pass has been around since last generation and hasn't seemed to make a huge impact on Xbox sales. While the subs have been climbing, it's a long way off from 100 million customers. So yeah, do you think mobile is the key? Here's what I think. I think that's what Xbox wants, right? Xbox, they believe that if they could get the mobile market in there, the Xbox Game Pass will blow the fuck up. And in theory, that's true, but I don't know how realistic that is. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, remember, they were supposed to launch on Android and iOS, and they had this whole promotion planned out and stuff, and then Apple backed down. Was like, no, you're not jumping on here with this shit. And so they couldn't do it. So they scrapped it. It's still on Android and others, but we never got these big ads. They were going to do the major announcements talking about, when they first announced iOS 13 was going to have support for the Xbox One X controller along with the DualShock. They were like, this is it. You're going to be able to use controllers. You don't have to do third party, do touchscreen. When our app goes out there, xCloud, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And it didn't happen. And I think that's what's going on, is that they never had a chance to really promote it because they didn't get on iOS. Once they do figure out a way, and I think their method is going to be a backdoor way. This talks about doing it through the web browser. So that way you could just bring it on your phone, do the whole web browser and do it that way. If that works out and that is a viable option, then yeah, we'll probably see those ads everywhere and the commercials of the guy, doing that thing that we saw before with the Vita. Remember when they did the Vita where he was like playing with his console on the Vita and then he took it and he was on the bus and doing all that shit. So we could see something like that, because I think that's what they really want to promote, that this one service carries from your console to your phone to your tablet to, hell, maybe in some TVs and shit like that. So we'll see, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet. So
yeah, it's the mobile markets. It's a very interesting thing because again, it functions at a slightly different at a different wavelength than actual gaming,
Yeah, it is. Hey, Brett, what's going on, man? See if he says anything. But I'm glad Brett's here because I'm going to use a story he told me to illustrate a point, right? Brett, you could fill in, whenever you talk, you can fill in the details here. But Brett was doing he was at the tattoo shop and he saw some guy playing a mobile game, right? And he was like, hey, check this out. He showed him a Switch, right? The guy was not interested. He wanted this mobile game. So you're right about that. Like mobile gamers, they don't have the same mentality as console gamers. They don't really care about having better graphics. I'll let you get in next, Adam. They don't really care about that. They want cheapy, simple games. That's what they generally want. Hold on, Adam had his hand for like a fucking classroom.
I had only because when you said that story, remind me this weekend. My daughter been playing Among Us. Right, she loves Among Us. She's always playing that shit on her damn tablet. And I was thinking, I was like, we got the 3DS, got the Switch. I mean, I have it. I was like, hey, you want to play this? Doesn't give a shit. Playing Among Us. I'll play it on this damn tablet all day long. She doesn't care.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
And she's like, this is what her friends play. This is what she plays. I'm like, yeah, but look at all these cool look at Zelda. Look at all. Doesn't care.
Don't care.
Doesn't care.
It's also simplicity, right? I feel like sometimes what can happen, especially when you have a person who's not fully into the whole gaming space, right? You set that controller in front of them, and that can seem a bit overwhelming. All these buttons all over the place. What do they do? I feel like
That's true.
That's why stuff like that, those simplified games also work for people that are not fully wanting to go into the whole the whole game, full on gaming space. I feel like us as a I feel like you got to remember, like, gaming for us is also an evolution. We started off and it was
Two
simple.
buttons, yeah.
It used to be one button and a D and a control control stick.
Yeah.
It evolved into to the hand thing, and then further and further and further.
Yeah, it's true.
I have a question.
What's up?
Why
Why
is it? I just by the way, I just got in. My internet like fucked up and had to restart my modem like 10 times, but it worked. So I don't know the context of the conversation, but something that Manny mentioned made me want to ask a question. By gaming terms, we're fucking dinosaurs. Why as compared to other types of evolutions, we're still up? Like, I think gamers in general like keep up with the times. Like, people, like, when technology advances, when things advance, like they just stay in their old ways. But with gaming, I feel like all of us and most people that I know that grew up with gaming in the 80s and the 90s, they've evolved, most of them.
Yeah. By the way, the question in this context was about if Game Pass will blow up once it gets to the mobile market, and we're saying that mobile gamers don't generally care for console experiences. That's what we're saying, and we already given examples like people these guys mostly like the simplicity, just flick their finger around and they're good to go. Like, you give them even a Switch, they'll be like, whoa, this is too much. Chris, go ahead. Chris, go ahead.
There's two issues. There's like Manny said, that they enjoy their simplicity, so they don't want to play complex games. I can't see a mobile gamer going from Among Us or something simple like Angry Birds to playing Halo Infinite on their phone, right? That's not going to happen. Or playing an RPG. That's not going to happen. And also, console gamers, we expect a certain type of control and finesse from our systems, right? Which is why we invest in controllers and we invest in grips and all this stuff. So the idea, for me at least, I know Tony also, to go play a complex game, I'm not going to go play, like, I can enjoy Peace Walker on the Vita. I'm not going to go play it on my iPhone and figure out all that shit. I'm not going to do it. So to me, playing on mobile is like almost like beneath me, I'm just like, this is like a toy. I just use my phone as a phone and like use social media and whatever. I don't game on my phone at all, like 0%, because I have a certain expectation when I play games. When I turn on the PlayStation, the Switch, the Xbox, whatever, or game on PC, I have an expectation. I have things set up a certain way, so I can't deal with like mobile and like touching like the screen and or having buttons on the screen. That's just weird to me.
The game I play on my phone is Zen Pinball. And that's it. Beep, 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 beep.
Even a pinball game I played on PlayStation.
I don't play any of that fucking trash. Like, they're like, my niece and nephew, when they come over, actually they know better now. Sometimes they would pick up my phone, like, what games have I? I don't have any fucking games on my phone. What am I, an idiot? Like, who the fuck wants to play that shit?
That's the same thing. That's how I am. Even I tried, like, Nintendo had put out that Dragalia Lost, and I played it for 15 minutes, and I got pissed off, and I'm like, put this shit on the Switch so I could play it with controls and shit. I can't stand this shit. It was making me mad. So fuck it. And I deleted it. And
my thing is like, this for me, but I'm pretty sure it speaks for most of us here. We're men, right? We got big fucking hands. Half my hands covering the screen when I'm doing this shit. It's like, come on, this is dumb. So, I don't think, again, I understand where Xbox is coming from. I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't know if that's going to work because it's twofold, right? One, like we've explained, you got the mobile gamers, they don't really care about the console experiences. Then the guys who want the console experiences are going to play it on their console. they're going to play it on their console. They're going to want to play it on their phone. Some guys will going to be wrong, but like generally
remember,
speaking,
it's not playing on the phone. It's using your actual controller because that's what they're trying to do.
But that's the thing. And then you need an extra peripheral for that.
Yeah,
you bring your controller. You carry your controller.
Or you get one of those joints, that you stick into your controller.
I see I understand where the sentiment is, where I see the sentiment where where they want to attract the mobile gamers. I don't know how much that's going to happen. I feel like the people that are probably going to be using the mobile version of this is probably going to be gamers using their essentially what Danny Pena has, which is essentially a Switch box. Essentially it runs it all on there. I feel like that's more of a environment.
But let's be honest, even that's in the minority. How many guys are going to be doing that shit?
How many, and also how many are going to invest in a whole different control unit just to play their games on a mobile device? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
The one thing I see is good. That's going to be a commodity for them. For Xbox is the fact that if they can get it into TVs, like if they can get it automatically put onto an actual television, I can see that as a thing, because again, you're essentially doing what PlayStation was doing and what Google was trying to do, right? You have that running on your thing. You're automatically running on any of your additional devices.
Yeah. I mean, it all just depends also on what the hotness is. Fortnite is, one of those things that people play on. It's one of those rare things that people play as much on mobile as they do on the consoles. And if that kind of thing, man, I see that green.
Some motherfuckers over here talking shit about, you got the PlayStation blue, man. What about that green? There you go. We're talking about Xbox anyway. There you go. It's fucking green right now.
I mean, the green.
It's green right now.
Man, you open the green door. You like the Hulk.
I'm like the Hulk, man.
Man, Phil Spencer about to bust out that door. Yeah, but it's IPs. The new hotness, whether it's PUBG or Fortnite or Minecraft. If Xbox has those compelling titles that can transcend a platform, then that's when we start talking about like mass adoption with Game Pass. As far as right now, I don't know if we have those titles.
Mass
What happened? I thought you were gonna say when you say mass adoption, I was like, it's a Mass Effect.
Yeah, man, it's a Mass Effect, man. You're gonna go from
here's the thing, like also to maybe think about like how many people actually do play Fortnite on their phones, because that's probably a more complicated sort of title.
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Play Fortnite, Roblox.
Remember, they got pulled from there.
Oh yeah, that is true. But but I mean, there's still a lot of people that had it and they didn't get rid of it. The servers are still up. But there's a ton of those titles that are still, Roblox, Minecraft, all of those types of games are really, really popular on the mobile platform.
Yeah,
I know they did ban the ability to play with consoles and from the mobile one because they have absolutely no chance of beating any of those guys.
Yeah, playing against guys with real controllers,
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say about this Xbox Game Pass mobile?
Say 2 years. Let's see.
We'll
2
see.
years if it doesn't get into that point where everyone's using it, or at least a large majority of people know about it and like, yeah, I guess I've tried it once or twice. If in 2 years, if they don't have that, then it's just going to be a novelty thing. But then again, from what we've all seen, Microsoft is going to be a service, so they're going all in with all these studios and stuff. So they're here for the long haul.
Remember, it's not about selling consoles. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I was curious about the 3 billion number to make it had in the question. Was that the official statement from Microsoft?
No, but he's talking about. I think that's how many people use mobile, maybe phones.
I think he means. I think he's talking about the actual people that are subscribed to Xbox.
No, this is not 3 billion people.
No.
I think he must mean the number of phones on Earth or something.
Right. I mean, that's a tough reach to reach 100%.
Oh, Phil said that apparently. He said 3 billion. All right.
Well, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, like Adam pointed out, Apple's not letting them even have xCloud running on iPhone. and I don't know what Apple's market
But even-
saturation is.
Yeah.
You also have this.
But even with
the
Apple,
thing with China.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, Chris? Like even with Apple, you really think that's gonna make a difference?
Well, that would make a
Well,
huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, like if you can't run xCloud on iPhones, and iPhones are like, let's say they're 40% of the worldwide market, then you never reach that number. But that number is too ambitious to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, like we have 7.5 billion people on the earth, and you're like, well, we're going to reach every mobile phone owner on the planet. And that's a tough reach, dude. That's a tough sell. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like even if like the Apple users aren't much different than anybody else, like they're still going to be like, I want my simple phone games. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you. No, I agree with that. I didn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah, my bad.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would it really make a difference? Because it's still the same type of mentality. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the number is too ambitious. Regardless, I don't know why he said that.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if you said 1 billion, I'd be like, wow, that's a staggering number. Okay, I could buy that. But if you're talking 3 billion and you're like, well, that's every mobile phone owner on planet Earth. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
like-
no, I
Yeah.
don't buy that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, how many of those 3 billion people are playing games right now? Like, that's not all 3 billion of them. You know?
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's all complicated with Microsoft here because it's a steep curve to try to get into this market because their biggest IP that could be that they know is tested and true on this platform is Minecraft. But Minecraft, I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but it surely is an app by itself on the thing, on the Apple Store and the iOS Store. I mean, in the Google Play Store. So, they're acquiring all these studios like Bethesda, and creating the initiative in all of these studios. A lot of these, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, all of these games are great games, but I think the audience for that is it's overwhelmingly, well, it's obviously overwhelmingly console people. I don't think those types of, even though they're flagship, AAA franchises, I don't think they transcend that mobile market. I don't think they would.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. There's also that. Yeah, like can they transcend the mobile market of interest? Break that wall.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, man. Again,
Maybe like Fallout Shelter or something
Yeah.
like that. That would be something that they could do, but
Fallout Shelter's already on
it's
mobile.
gonna be
So
tough, man.
gotta be
Yeah.
something. All right, let's move on.
some.
Let's move on. We got more questions tonight. Right.
I mean, that's a
next-
good question.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's our lead topic question, actually. All right, next up, also from Tumeke. All right, after people complained Sony has been too quiet while Xbox does its thing, that was last year. What are your thoughts on this past week's news? The 10 free PS games, PSVR controllers, Forspoken, and buying EVO. Yeah, it was a great week for Sony. I'm glad they started announcing shit. It was a great week, and there's no denying that. Great week. We obviously not going to get weeks like that all the time, but hopefully this is a sign that we're going to get more from Sony. Notice how Microsoft, they've been a little bit more on the quiet side lately. Even though they have
I'm sure they announced the controller or something.
they the fridge. They got the little big
The
fridge.
yeah.
So yeah, Sony's announcing stuff, which is good. No complaints. I mean, obviously we talked
They
about.
announced that Outsiders or Outriders shit.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh yeah, they did announce the Game Pass
Yeah,
stuff.
that was
Yeah,
good.
that's true.
Yeah, that was their big
Some
noise.
besides Paikuhan. But we check out our thoughts on the last episode. It was good stuff. All right, both the announcements and our episode. All right. Yeah, what's up?
Because I need to speak up.
Uh-oh.
I think it's just been whack. I mean, they managed to do everything apart from announce actually games.
You talking about Sony?
Yeah. Like, okay, you're getting 10 free games on PlayStation. Cool. Are they new games? Nope. Games that probably you've overlooked and didn't want to play in the first place. Okay, they're announcing VR. By the sounds of it, not many people are that excited about VR. Again, looking at the numbers. So, hence, whack. And they talked about, what was the third thing? Announcing EVO. How many people actually give a damn about EVO in the context? And what relation does it have to Sony? Like, is Sony going to be streaming EVO? Is Sony just going to be sponsoring EVO? Like, how will EVO change Sony? Or how will Sony change EVO? There's nothing. So, I just have the question, they haven't really said anything of note.
What about Forspoken? The announcement.
That they changed the name of the title.
They showed some gameplay too, a little bit. You know,
they showed a woman prancing through the forest.
Yeah,
she was doing
like,
action.
I'm sorry, but they already had the announcement before, and then they had this as a second announcement, if you wish. I guess this was the announcement that the game now has a title. You know, like I can't be overly impressed by like, hey, our game now has a title. Oh, when's it out? Sometime in 2022. Okay, so why should I care for it? You know, how about you tell me in 2022? Because I'm in 2021 now. I don't really care about 2022 yet.
Some of us are still in 2020.
You know,
like we're still waiting for Cyberpunk to actually be good. So
we're waiting for it to
I don't think that's going to
release.
happen. Yeah, it hasn't released yet.
So yeah, like I don't know. I just can't be that impressed. And like, what about all the other games that people actually give a damn about? It's like, hey, you guys are rumored to be releasing Horizon 2 this year. The months are getting shorter, or technically longer. But
I thought they. Whoa! Didn't they announce? I could be wrong. I could be dead fucking wrong. I thought they already delayed that game till next year. So I could be dead fucking wrong about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong about that. Because it could be everything, since every game on the Earth is getting delayed to 2022. I'm assuming that one. But I could have sworn they did that. Please correct me in the chat.
No, it was Gran Turismo that got delayed.
That got delayed. Yeah.
That was like one of those given.
Maybe that's
ones.
the one I'm confusing it with.
Yeah, I think God of War and Horizon. I don't think we have got word of any of that stuff
God
yet.
of War ain't coming this year.
Yeah.
So then why not some news on it? You know, like news on things that we've been expecting them to talk about, because they talked about it last year, as in, okay, I was looking for updates for the stuff they talked about last year, because last year they talked about some stuff that's coming out this year. So hence I was expecting news on those things, because it's meant to be this year, and so far there's nothing. So that's why I'm thinking that the whole thing's just whack.
All right, fair enough. I mean, most of it was kind of whack. For me, I like, because I was very interested in Project Athia before. I'm like, oh shit, this looks dope. Give me that fucking. I'm already on board. Fucking Luminous Engine 2, I'm there. But yeah, the other shit, the 10 indie games, who gives a fuck? PSVR, I don't give a shit. Evo is cool though. But I'm mostly excited for them to stop showing Smash. That's what I want. Like, get Smash out of there. That's all I want. You know. All right, Brian, to make it ask, what hasn't been whack to you?
What hasn't been whack? Quite a lot of things have just been whack. Like, again, it's just nothing of note. Again, I keep hopping on PlayStation because there's lots of holes that they've not really talked about. Again, the SSD. I have a PS5. It's sat there. The SSD slot doesn't work. Why? They haven't said why. They just said it's coming soon. Why is it coming soon? Why was it not at launch? You know, like, these are things that they've talked about but not talked about. This is a whole. Microsoft has their own problems. Like, no one knows when Halo's coming out. They just kept really quiet about that. At least Nintendo is releasing Monster Hunter Rise this year, or this month, so that's something, but Nintendo has the Pro that's rumored, which they'll not talk about until whenever. But yeah, it's just been a whole lot of nothing. So I can't really get excited at a whole lot of nothingness.
Love it. All right, Carlos, what's up? Oh, Manny, you go first.
So yeah, I mean, I do agree with you, Tony, on the that it's interesting. But yeah, I also agree with Brian. It's at the same time, it's like it's really not much. It just seems like, hey, look, we're doing something. But it's not. It's all this. It's a bunch of games that some of these games are actually on PS Plus already. Yeah. By the way, like Absu and a lot of those ones were already released on PS Plus.
Yeah,
and I mean, granted, they did. I mean, also that announcement of those 10 games, the play at home initiative that they got, those games are next month. But this month, what we got, and they don't, and that just went under the radar, was Ratchet and Clank, the PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah.
Wait, they already so it's confirmed it's gonna have a PlayStation 4 version?
No. He's talking about the PlayStation
Ratchet and
4
Clank. It's the reboot that they did like from
16, I believe.
16 or whatever. Whenever the movie came out, it's that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I guess they're supposed. This is them. They're attempting to beef it up. Though they have the Horizon Zero Dawn, and then all those indie games. It just seems like it just looks to me like, hey, we don't have anything at this point in time. Here's a bunch of free shit.
Yeah.
So that you don't you're actually playing. So you're playing something, and you're not paying attention to the fact that we don't have anything right now.
Especially no PS5 games, you know what I'm saying?
None of those. Also that too. None of those games are PS5 games. They're not the PS5 edition. If you get Horizon Zero Dawn, the one that's that's supposed to come with this 10 games of whatever, right? It's supposed to be the Ultimate Edition, but is it the PS5 enhanced one, or do you have to pay for the PS5 enhancement? See,
I think. Oh yeah. You're talking about the free one. If it's going to be the PS5 compatible one, yeah. Okay, yeah. I see.
Yeah, is it going to be it's going to work on PS5, but at the same time, is it going to be the one that's supposedly enhanced for PS5 that supposedly they say is coming? I don't think it is. I think it's just the 4 one.
Shit.
Carlos, you gonna say something before, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we haven't gotten more of Ratchet and Clank since that's coming out in less than 2 months.
Yeah.
We've gotten there was like a trailer, or like they showed some gameplay like a month before the year ended in 2020. I don't think we've gotten anything so far this year. Even the last State of Play, there was kind of oddly absent considering that we're so close to the release. I think it's coming out June 11th, I believe. So yeah, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War, I'm not surprised we haven't seen anything from that, because it was plainly used to just hype up the new console, and get it and drive up the sales. Like, oh, look, these games are on the horizon, no pun intended. And it's just meant to drive up the sales, and they're gonna have PS4 versions, unfortunately. So I don't expect to see, like Tony mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if Horizon is delayed till 2022. I'm pretty sure God of War is already going to be delayed. I'm not sure what we're gonna expect, and I agree with Brian. A lot of that stuff has been pretty whack.
I wanted to be clear. I agree with Brian like on 95% of what he said. I'm excited for Project Athia, but other than that, all that shit was trash. I don't care about it,
Yeah, but I mean, but that's like the Capcom things. Like, I don't know. I think that was kind of weak too.
What was the Capcom whole presentation?
Thing? Yeah, that's part that Project Athia thing wasn't part of any Sony shit. It was part of the Capcom.
That's Square Enix, man. What are you talking about?
Or whatever. Keep Square Enix, whatever.
One of those.
One of those Japanese companies.
And I'm just excited because I'm a Final Fantasy nerd, I'm just being
I mean, to be honest, I don't see anything special about that game. The only thing that looked interesting was her traversal and her 2 seconds of punching. Yeah. But other than that, I'm like, eh.
Yeah. I'm not.
Like I said, I'm a nerd for Final Fantasy, so give me that shit.
There ain't no fucking Final Fantasy there.
Man,
it's just,
to me, it's the connection's already there, man. Luminous engine.
She's in it's in the engine, so automatically it's Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Come on, man. No, turn that off. Turn off that fanboy.
Nah, I'm not turning it off. I'm keeping it on.
Shut that fanboy right off, because it ain't going to be fucking Final Fantasy.
Man, don't let him fool you. He doesn't even like Final Fantasy enough to play the online ones. So
I know those don't count, man. That's not real Final Fantasy.
No, you ain't no super fan, brother. There's a whole game you haven't played, a whole huge narrative you haven't played. You ain't no super fan.
Yeah, no, those games don't count anyway.
Oh, they do too.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Yes, they do. No, they don't.
Just because you're not a big fan of something doesn't mean that it doesn't count. Look at the player base on that shit.
Yeah, but
it doesn't count in Tony World.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It only doesn't count in Tony World.
Exactly.
It counts in everybody else's.
Yeah, not in Manny's world.
Yeah, I don't really care for
play that
the
trash
online mode. But then again, I have. But let me also say that I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy X. Oh.
I mean, that's okay.
I stopped playing them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I stopped playing them because they are not. I don't.
I don't play any Final Fantasy except for this huge Final Fantasy thing.
Yeah, but who cares? Like Final Fantasy is not an online game; it's an offline. Like those games should not have the number. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. Why the fuck are you giving them numbers? Just stay online and just toss it to the side.
You haven't even tried it. You can't.
I'm not gonna play an MMO, man. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You haven't even tried it. You just made it your mind.
It's an MMO. Why am I gonna play an MMO for?
Yeah, I don't
because
see-
it's award winning and everybody.
Who the fuck
raves
cares
about it.
about
Who cares
that?
about
Who
awards?
gives a shit about that? That's literally the most needless thing ever. Oh, it won awards. Who
Did
gives
you
a
hear the
fuck?
second part? Did you hear the second part? Everybody fucking raves about it.
So who gives a fuck?
Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
Everybody
There's
raves about
literally
it.
no,
Who cares
there's
about it?
literally no answer I can give you, man. That's gonna make you think that like it's worth playing.
I have a
Just-
better
I'm
question.
just
I have a better
mad at
question.
it.
Why do you want me to play it?
What's that?
Why do you want me to play
No,
it?
it's not even necessarily that I want you to play. You're just sitting there saying you'll pretty much play anything if it's Final Fantasy, and I'm like, no, you won't.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
He's
But
trying
yeah.
to find a chink in your armor.
Yeah, but this is me.
No, I was
You know,
just- I
yeah,
was
you know
just
that's not going to
saying,
work
what
on me,
about this
baby.
one?
Yeah, you know
I
that's
was
not going to
just
work on
saying.
me, baby. You know?
Look,
Anyway.
There's
yeah.
lots of people out there who play online games and fully enjoy them. There's a lot of
Good for them.
crossover between single player and multiplayer. I get that. I get that in Tony World, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you'll play just about any Final Fantasy game as long as it's not multiplayer.
Yes.
But this is the funny thing about this game.
Of course.
To go
You know,
back to
if
the
this
original-
fucking
we
game is
originally-
online, then
originally
like,
saying,
if this game is automatically, if this game is multiplayer, I immediately don't care anymore. Simple as that.
funny thing, and the other funny thing is that the only reason why he wants to play this game is even sort of interested is because it has the Luminous guys
Yeah.
on it, and he has the expectation of Final Fantasy on it, which is a false expectation because it's not going to be Final Fantasy.
No, it's not at all. I know that, but it's a Luminous engine. That's all I care about. Then.
I mean, did you forget 10 and 10-2 and
Yeah, I like those games.
you like 10 and 10-2, but you
Yeah.
won't try the MMO. I don't know
And I
what
played
to say to you.
and I played all the 13 games and loved them all. So
Oh my
there
god,
you go.
so you'll burn
Open
through
world
a
games, and I
bad
hate
game.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Those
so
games were good, man.
that's the way it is.
But I'm not playing some fucking MMO. Get out of here with that shit. All right. Anyway,
I'm gonna say I'm
yeah,
gonna
what's
say
up?
I'm gonna rock one more thing. I haven't been impressed with any Final Fantasy after 10.
I haven't either personally.
Not that is why it is number one. It's time
Yeah, you want me to
reasons.
play the MMO.
Number one, not time reasons. Time reasons. Number one and number two. It's like none of those new games that came after 10 just do not interest me. They all seem like more of the same.
All right.
Yeah,
They haven't
By the way,
they haven't
I
really.
don't want to play the MMO either.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's too story driven for me. I don't want to play that.
Story driven. Get out of here, MMO. By the way,
No, dude,
we're
it's
changing.
restrictively story driven.
Yeah, by
Like,
the way-
you have to play
yeah.
through the story.
Yeah, whatever story MMO could have. Anyway, by the way, we're going to switch gears here, but stay on topic because the fans are going asking right now. What are our favorite? What are our favorite Final Fantasy games? I don't know if we've actually been asked that directly before, which is interesting.
Yeah, we have.
So have we?
When we had right when the new one was being
might have.
announced. It was like,
Might
which
have.
one do
Oh,
you
we can
like?
do it
And
real quick.
come out
I'll just go
15.
down the line. Adam, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game?
7. Everybody knows it's 7.
All right,
That's
7.
the only one. All the other ones just burn in the garbage.
Oh.
That one
Oh.
really. I was working at a software etc. when that one came in, and that put hair on my chest. I was like, holy shit! This game has 3 discs. This shit is gonna make me really and play. Are you kidding? Like, because back in the day, they would give you the copy if you worked there, and they're like, all right, go play it, and then you can come back and tell people and try to sell the shit, right? I'm like, okay. And then they when we took it out of the box, it was like this. It was thick, for those listeners. It was just thick, and then opening it up, I'm like, what is this? It's like a box set. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is the game. What was it? Like 4 discs? And I couldn't believe it, so I brought it home, and I think it was like up to the 2nd disc or so. I was like, damn, this is absorbing a good amount of my life. This is serious. This is not just a game. This is an experience. So really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's it.
Right, Manny, favorite one. You don't need to go into a story. You don't need to.
It's two, aka 4. That's my
4.
favorite
All
one.
right, 4. Carlos.
Oh man, I'm gonna be a contrarian here,
Uh-oh.
but it's still sticking in line. But it's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core.
Oh, interesting. I've said this many times. My favorite is X. Brett, what's your favorite?
6.
6. Brian, have you ever played a Final Fantasy?
I have. I've played one.
It's good, man.
Not Final Fantasy 1,
No,
but I played one Final Fantasy game.
Uh,
Final Fantasy
like
15. And that's
15. There you go. Great game.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Great game. Chris.
All right, 7.
7. All right, there you go. Good
Oh,
stuff.
we actually had a pretty good spread on the answers there.
Yeah, we did.
Wasn't just everybody saying 7.
Yeah.
What were you expecting? All 7s?
7 is still one.
That's usually the way
though.
that everybody usually goes, undisputedly,
Dude,
Final Fantasy VII is the best.
Those people are assholes.
We're fucking gamers. Come on.
Yeah,
There's a lot more deep. You got to give everybody a little more credit than that. It's a little more deeper than 7.
Oh no! I wasn't saying that you guys were gonna bitch. I mean, I'm just saying like, wow, that's a good spread. Usually when you're having this thing with a little less hardcore people, everybody just goes to 7 by default.
Yeah.
So Brett,
That's all I'm saying. I appreciate the diversity of this panel.
Brett, do you give me credit since I technically picked a Final Fantasy VII game, but not the one that you were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's just nice. Like I said, I appreciate the diversity on this panel. Usually, you have this discussion with friends, and I end up having to argue with somebody for an hour and a half why Final Fantasy VII isn't the hands down best game ever made. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but
I mean that's Mass Effect too. That's why.
Yeah. All right, Mr.
I never
Moore,
see.
yeah,
I think I never saw Final Fantasy VII. I saw it as very nice, but I never saw it as something that was. If you've already played RPGs in the past, you realize that there's a lot better ones that came way before that.
Final Fantasy 6.
I don't care. I don't care
Yeah,
for
Tony
Final
knows what I'm
Fantasy 6.
saying.
I don't care for Final Fantasy 6, but I do appreciate that it exists. My
Kefka
biggest
is like a great villain.
my biggest gripe with that game is the fact that you have so many characters that you're playing. You're like playing like 20 main characters. That's my only issue with the game.
Yeah. All right.
You don't stay with one person, but that
Let's move on. Good stuff. I'm glad you asked that. All right. This one is from John Christ, who actually asked us that question. This first one from him is, when looking at the possibility of a Switch Pro, what absolutely needs improvement to warrant the revision? Nintendo has never been one to chase the bleeding edge, but always seems to stick the landing regardless. We talked about this before. Just make it look nice on a 4K TV. Now, obviously, I don't expect 4K graphics from a Nintendo system, but make it look nice on a 4K TV, and I'm good.
Fix your fucking drift.
Oh, you could do that too.
It'd be about fucking time for that shit to not be a thing anymore. Just saying.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? What does the Switch Pro need? What do you use Switch a lot too?
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna come. I hope.
No. What do you want? What does it need to have for you to think this is justified?
Get rid of those fucking bezels. I hate those bezels. It's annoying to look at the damn bezels. Get rid of the bezels, and just let it support at least previous gen Xbox,
Xbox,
PS3, the Xbox. Yeah, at least support those type of games.
The Switch.
Yeah, if it can. Yeah, the new version to show. Think about it. It could only, right now. It's playing the 360 and PS3 games. Right.
The Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Switch. That's what it's playing now. If it can go to PS4, if it can just play PS4, not PS5 or anything, just up to PS4 level, and Xbox One S or X, it's fine. Then do it. And that's what they're.
Are you talking about graphics?
No, Tony. Okay, I realize that you're confused about the Switch and brand, but what he's talking about is Switch picking up the stragglers from the last gen systems.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, what? Did Switch start playing Xbox games without me noticing this shit? Like, what?
No, but nothing's truly exclusive given enough time and money these days.
Oh, you're talking about third party. I got you. Third party last gen games. Gotcha.
Yes.
By the way, real quick, gotta interject. Shout out to Arniso for subscribing.
Yeah. All right, continue, Adam. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
If it can get, cause it's we're playing all these old shits, and everyone's all wow that we can have it on the go, and I love that and all, with for the BioShocks and stuff. But man, you're gonna get to the point where, look, now we're already in the next gen. There were some good games in the other one, multiplayer games. It would be great if one day we could play, let's say, a Division or something like that on the go on the Switch. That'd be cool. Why not make a variant of it? Do something. But
gotta have
to upgrade. Yeah, it's gotta have something. But the performance, the hardware has to be there. And from what we're hearing with the Pro, it looks like it's gonna have that power just to do that, just to bring it up to par of last gen, or at least close to it. So,
well, one of the issues, Adam, that I think they're gonna come through is the whole storage issue. I mean, they come with 32 gigabytes on the box. So, trying to get last gen Call of Duty, what is it? The Cold War one?
that's not happening. Yeah, that's a Black Ops Cold War. No, that's not happening unless they do what they did with those two games that they have now on there, where it's playing from the cloud. where you can do the cloud version, unless that becomes a thing. But I don't know anybody that really wants to do that. You pay for the game and you have it, but you can only play when you're on a strong Wi-Fi signal.
Well, I mean, and Nintendo and online capabilities don't really go hand in hand.
No. So it'd be cool if they come up with some kind of way of like, I was thinking instead of just, we always hear like, oh, you have a micro SD slot. Yeah, well, upgrade that to like 2 slots. Put 2 slots. We could really beef this thing up. Do something like that.
All right, Brian.
Yeah,
Brian first, and you, Carlos.
I'm with Adam on the bezels. Bezels are a bit on the thick side, so they need to be just trimmed down. And the space, I never really thought about it that much because I have an SSD in there, SD card in there, so I've never had an issue. But yeah, definitely bump it up. I'd say, well, again, if it's using the same tech as phones these days, you can easily get like 256 gigs in there with not much problem, and that will suit so many people. So at least 128 gigs should be fine.
Yeah.
Maybe 256, and also have room for expansion slots because why not?
All right, Carlos.
Yo, man, two of Brian's two worst nightmares. It's Switch bezels and bezel guys. I agree with Tony. Well, actually, I agree with everyone's assessments to this. Tony mentioned the whole, and my biggest issue with it is playing the Switch on my TV. On my TV,
Too brutal.
It looks washed out. It looks pixelated. It does, man. And I don't even play it like with the TV right in front of me. I have several feet in between me and the TV, and it's brutal, man. So having the Switch, either the chipset being upgraded to the X2 Tegra, or maybe the dock having some special capabilities or something. I don't know what they're gonna do, but hopefully they're able to upgrade this thing to output and process higher res textures. Because if the games are fine, Zelda, with the fidelity it has, with the gameplay it has, and the maps and everything, just make everything look a little more crisper and run a little bit better. That's all I'm really asking for. Having the storage capacity also increase, because if you're going to have higher res textures, you're also going to have higher, they're all going to store more memory, and so you're going to have to store that into 32 gigabytes. Is not enough. I remember at the beginning of the Switch console launch, Tony and Chris were having arguments with people about the storage because they're like, yeah, man, 32 gigabytes will last you the whole generation.
Nope.
And
no, that's right.
No, the hell it didn't.
Yeah.
So that needs to be assessed. Also, if there's any way, Brett mentioned the Joy-Con drift. I just hope they could sort of make the Joy-Cons a little bit better for people with bigger hands.
Oh God, right?
Yeah, but then that's really much it. I don't really. Everything else is kind of software based that I have issues, but as far as the hardware, I think that'll be a good, and that'll make me reinvest into the Switch if they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Brett, what you got from me, man?
Honestly, I'd like a little bit of a design overhaul. If I get to pick anything, I'd like a little bit of a design overhaul. I'd like them to raise the dock about 2 inches and put on Joy-Cons with PlayStation horns or something like that. So you can really grip it. I know you can buy those aftermarket, but then you have to fucking take them off to put them on your dock and everything like that. I'd like to see a version where it's raised up a little bit so you could keep the pro gaming handles, Joy-Cons, pro gaming Joy-Cons on, and still dock it. Maybe make it a little bit bigger and just kind of market it as a more hardcore gamer version. A little bit bigger, outputs to 4K a little bit better, has better controllers. That's what we would all really expect if you just hyped up, if you blew NOS into a system. And that's kind of what I think I would expect. And along with everything else, fucking bezel. But yeah, it's my big thing is it works really well in docked mode with the Pro controller, but the handheld experience is ergonomically lacking.
Mm-hmm.
What if
by the way, this is
in the Joy-Cons.
What happened?
I was going to say, what if, let's say, within the Joy-Cons, they have a little button that you can press, and then the bottom piece is just split. It just pushes out a little bit. So then that way we can get that horn feel. You know what I mean? Like, what if maybe they can do something like that, and then you just snap it back in?
Something like that, like without having to disassemble the whole thing.
Yeah, without having to disassemble.
The only thing about having like stuff that I feel like adjusting stuff like that you can kind of pull out and pull back in. The wear and tear of those things probably may not be that great. You know what I mean? Like the more moving parts that you have, the more chances you have for for them to not work properly.
Don't work now with that damn drift, so.
Well, yeah. You want them to do shit that pops out, and they can't even handle the the drift issue.
You know what's weird with the drift is that I have that Power 8 controller did the drift also, and that's a third-party controller, which I found interesting. I was like, wow, I thought it was just with the Joy-Cons, and then I'm using my other controller, and then that one did. So far, only the 8-bit do is the one that hasn't drift on me.
Well, it also depends on the company that they're using to manufacture the analog sticks, and what they found. Is that probably one of the reasons maybe why the PlayStation has been having drift issues as well as the things. They might be actually using the same company to manufacture those parts.
Yeah, Chris.
I mean, I agree with most of what's said. My main things would be like use an enhanced Tiger 2 so you get some sort of 4K output, maybe increase the RAM to support some better games, although that's going to lead to, I think they would do that if only to force people to upgrade to the Switch Pro and go, oh, this game only runs on Switch Pro, So I could see that
they're
happening.
Say that shit.
Yeah.
You know it's happening.
They did it with the XL, yeah. They did it with the XL. By the way, this is interesting. I didn't realize this. Thank you, John Christ, for bringing this up. You know how the Switch sticks out a little bit above the dock? Apparently, so you can see the battery indicator. That actually makes sense. Because I thought it was. I thought it was bad design.
You can see it on one of our screens right now. So
yeah, that's crazy. Interesting. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, look at that. I didn't realize. I thought it was just bad design. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Baby, what is you doing?
What they really should do? They should actually make a fully set top version of the Switch, a real Switch Pro that actually has the shit that's in it that can run some shit decently.
Yeah, Manny, you're not in the market for a Switch, but do you have any suggestions?
No, I don't.
There's
absolutely. There's absolutely nothing on the Switch right now. I mean, there's some games that peak an eyebrow, but officially, it's not enough for me to sort of invest, especially when you got like the prices and you have the price of the games being like $60 for a thing. Even Vita games weren't that expensive. I couldn't see myself investing in it. But again, that can change. Maybe there's a game on there that I just say, oh man, I gotta own this shit. But right now, I don't see anything that interests me enough to invest.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Well, you have the next question ready. Yeah, okay, we do. This one we've kind of been asked before, so we could just run through it quickly. But John is newer-ish, so we could answer it again. He goes, I've recently come to terms with the fact that I'm happiest as a gamer when I'm playing my two main series, Monster Hunter and Pokemon. Forcing myself to finish other games that just doesn't feel as good anymore for some reason, most likely because I don't play for 12 hours a day anymore like I did in my teens and 20s. So the question is, what core game franchises do you all see as your main squeezes? So we'll just run down the line real quick because we've answered it before. Adam, Call of Duty, right? That's your main one?
Yeah, Call of Duty mainline franchise used to be the WWE games before 2K20 disaster, but it was always, that was a mainstay because I knew every year I'm getting another Call of Duty, every year I'm getting another wrestling game, both of them are updated, and I'm just going to live on those things. And FIFA, that was it, but those are the three.
Man, you got anything? Games you go back to?
Games that I can always play or go back to. I mean, I guess I'd say the Metal Gear franchise, right? Yeah, that's probably it.
How often do you play them?
Oh, how often do I play them? I haven't really played them very much.
That's why I'm like, I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, I think
mean,
he's talking
here's
about
the
like
thing,
that
like, there's
whenever you're bored, you can just jump on it. Cool.
Well,
with it.
yeah, I mean, I don't. It's a weird one because I don't go. I don't know. It's weird. I don't end up. I go back to things, but I don't go back all the time. Like I'll go back if they do like a remaster. I'll go back and play it, like I did the last time they did a remaster. But yeah, I don't. I guess I'm always moving forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm jumping in next because I'm the same way. That's your answer, by the way, man. I don't go back to games. Like I'm just playing whatever's the next new thing. If somebody remasters an old game, sure, right? Or maybe on occasion I'll play an old game, but it's got to be an old game I've never played before. Like I never played Final Fantasy VI before. I played it last year. The game was fucking phenomenal. But I don't have like if I'm gonna play a game, I can't justify playing an old one when there's so many new games. I know right now there's no new games. That's why I'm playing old shit. But even Monster Hunter, which Monster Hunter World has been a mainstay, but I'm gonna eventually move on from that as well. So no, I don't really have any games like that. Like I'm always.
I don't think they're talking about going back generations to play.
No, he's just
No,
talking about
he said
like
franchises. The guy said franchises.
Yeah.
he's just I mean like keeps going like something that you keep going back to. In other words, it's like
Well,
it's like
Monster
Carlos
Hunter.
and
Yeah.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter's
that-
one of them, but it's just like that's the closest one I have. But you know,
Yeah.
No, that's exactly what he's talking about. You're going to play the next Monster Hunter. You've played the current Monster Hunter,
Yeah.
even past its release. You've come back to it several times, and you're probably going to play the next one, right?
yeah. Oh, I mean, if you're
Yeah.
talking about that context, then yeah, there's a few of them. God of War, Metal Gear. Yeah, I'll play. Yeah, that stuff. But I thought.
Yeah, they don't.
But he's
they
talking.
don't
He's
mean
I thought he
he's
was talking
talking
about
about
old games.
a constant one that you go back to. So like he's saying, he's
Yeah.
like, hey, listen, I'm not. I
Actually,
can't.
John,
bring
you're in the
myself to-
chat right now. Explain to us. Are you talking about old
Yeah.
franchise games or new franchise games? Like,
I think
He's talking about main
like,
squeeze games, like
Yeah.
those games that you just keep on going back to. That's what he's talking
Yeah.
yeah,
about.
no main squeeze franchise. Like I don't think he's going back and replaying, several generations ago, Pokemon. He just played every Pokemon. He enjoys playing Pokemon more than other games, and he'll drift off from Pokemon, then drift back on. I'm assuming to somewhat current generation.
okay, he explained it. He's talking about what franchises do you or will you always play no matter what? Like even
Yeah.
new games. So yeah, we
Yeah,
were wrong. We were
so-
wrong. Oh yeah, it's a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
Final Fantasy, God of War, fucking Spider-Man now, Uncharted. Yeah. There's a bunch of those for sure. Yeah.
I'm
there you
going
go.
to answer the question
Okay, go ahead.
I'm assuming he kind of means it like an activity game, and if you're in the chat, tell me if you're right, or tell me if I'm right, because these guys, they finish games and they move on, right? Like they don't play games as an
Yeah, that's
activity.
true.
I think that's the key difference. I think he's talking about games that you play as an activity. The way Adam goes back to the Division, like he'll play a game, he'll drift off, he'll have a sweetheart on the side, but he'll always go back to his loved Division.
Yeah, John, are you
Call
talking
of
about those games we always go back to no matter what? Anyway, go on, Brett. You give your answer.
So my answer would be Fallout. Like I've played every Fallout game since I think the first one. I vividly remember the second one. I kind of think I remember the first one. But man, I played that for years and years and years. I'll play just about every iteration, and I'll drift off and I'll play other games. I'll go play Valhalla for a while, and then I'll kind of drift back to Fallout, the current Fallout, which is 76. Before that, it was 4. Before that, it was I think it was New Vegas. Yeah, it was definitely New Vegas. And then before that was 3. Like I just kind of like, I'm gonna go do some other stuff, and then I'm like, I finished my game. Now I'm gonna go back to Fallout and stick around in Fallout for a little bit because it's kind of a never-ending game. I love the story. I love the setting. I love the fucking music. I love everything about it. So yeah, every iteration that comes out, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna just keep drifting back towards it. I played it earlier today.
Yeah. By the way,
John Christ said
he said both. He said both. Both answers are equally valid. There you go. So in that one, yes, I do have franchises I go back to, but I don't have individual games I ever go back to. If I play an old game, I'm done with it. I'm done. Moving on. But franchises I always keep reviews as long as they're good. Mass Effect is a little bit on icy ground right now. Just like BioWare.
I spent
Anyway,
2 hours today playing Rockstar Table Tennis.
oh shit. Brian, we already know the answer to this one. Actually, no, you're done with Warframe, aren't you?
Yeah, and looking back at it, I actually don't have any because most of them have been shut down and killed off. So I'm just drifting out in space.
That's crazy.
A lot of drift talk. This.
Oh man, Brian is the true Ronin.
He's a drift.
Well, they abandoned him though. That's different,
No, the gods of Olympus have abandoned him. Literally.
Carlos, what you got?
Yeah.
Oh, you already know
Heroes
chess.
of the Storm.
Chess, you know.
Heroes of the Storm.
And chess, I play those all the time. As far and
Fall
Monster
Guys,
Hunter, you know.
Fall Guys too.
Oh yeah, Fall Guys is another one. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much of a track record. It's just been since this year or this past. Oh no, actually, since it came out. Yeah, Fall Guys, I guess, could be another one. As far as franchises, any Mario game, any new Mario game that comes out, I always get. Any Pokemon game, any new Pokemon game that comes out, I always get. Any new Smash Brothers game that comes out, I always get. Every new Zelda game that comes out, I always get. Mass Effect is nice. GTA is another one. Uncharted, God of War, Spider-Man, Halo, Gears of War. There's a lot of franchises that I always.
Whoa, you're gonna play every Halo without question, even now?
Well, that's what I've done since I've been a little kid. So I don't know. Even though I didn't
Just
like
walk into this
5.
next one eyes wide open, buddy.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'm going in trying to get proven right or proven wrong for once since 343 took the helm. Yeah, I'll see what happens with this one. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even a fan because I don't play. I used to check this out. I used to play Halo a ton, man. I used to play thousands of hours worth of Halo, and now I just play the story and move on. That's all. But I still play each one just for the anecdote. And I also there's a ton of franchises. Fallout. I'm the same with you, Brett, with Fallout, except I didn't play 1 and 2. But everything else I played, except for 76, it's not really a mainline Fallout game.
Surprisingly, they turned it into one. I'm going to convince you to come try it.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, so I mean, there's probably a lot more franchises I can name. Final Fantasy is another one. I love that franchise, and also with the Tony's take that I don't like playing the online versions of them. Yeah, I played Final Fantasy 11 when I was in high school, and I was like, all right, man, that's enough.
Yeah, GK5 MMOs. That's too much. All right, Chris.
Make it.
But in a bad way, because to make it is a good thing,
Oh yeah.
To make it.
Yeah, but it English too much is bad thing, Anyway, Chris, what you got?
I would say, I always buy the Souls games.
Yeah.
Like anything from Software that's not Armored Core, I'm getting. And one thing I always go back to is GTA Online. I always go back, and Division 2. Been going back.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter, go back. So I would definitely. The Monster Hunter with the caveat that it's Monster Hunter World.
Yes,
I would get the next one for sure.
Rise, nah.
Yeah, nah, not anything else.
Fuck that.
I'll get GTA 6. I'm a little worried, but I mean, I love GTA. I've played all of them, so I get that. If there was another Red Dead Redemption, I'd get that.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. So those games, and yeah. So I mean, mainly I go back to Souls. That's a guilty pleasure. I'll go back and play like Bloodborne. I played all through the generation. I'll go back, even near the end. We got Manny the Platinum. Well, we're back, So
Chris is just waiting for
End
somebody
of the
else to need
generation
help.
plat.
Yes.
yeah.
Chris,
That's it. Like I was playing with Manny's cousin, and I mean Tony's cousin, the voice of
voice
God.
of God,
We went through, and he had some. He was hilarious when we were going through that game. Like, yo, man, you're some kind of demigod. You taking those explosions? It was like cracking me up, man. Yeah.
Yo, what the fuck? Oh man,
It is like fighting alongside Hercules. It's fucking ridiculous.
Fantastic. Oh man. All right, let's move on. That was a good question. Next up, we have Mob Hits, the man who finds the rumors. All right, his first question is: with Sony having a stake in EVO, will we see exclusivity, marketing, DLC, etc., with certain fighters that show up year in and year out? I don't know. It's too early to tell, man. Who knows?
What was that again?
I want to say yes.
Okay, good. Brett, go ahead and speculate, because I have no answer for this.
I wouldn't have said anything until I noticed something very, very sly the other day. My roommate Morgan fucking loves watching Forged in Fire. Don't get me wrong, I love it too. It's a great show. But recently, in the new episodes, they have started to conveniently mention the video games that these swords are shown in. And surprise, surprise, they're Sony exclusive franchises.
Oh, really?
Or they include Sony exclusive franchises, but nothing Microsoft exclusive. I noticed the tone.
That's interesting.
Because, like they brought up Dark Souls, and I was like, huh, that's only on Sony systems.
Well, not Dark Souls is a multi-plat, though.
Yeah, I guess it is now.
It's always been multi-plat.
If they said Demon Souls,
if they said Demon Souls, that'd be a different story. But Dark Souls has been multi-plat from the jump. Yeah.
True. But I did notice some other ones. It seems like, so I guess the takeaway is still the same though. It seems like Sony is quietly advertising, because there was no brought to you by Sony or anything like that. It was product placement.
Also, how many Xbox characters do you know that has fucking swords?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
They got guns.
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 Got
The closest to a sword that's in the world of Xbox
Yeah,
is the noob knife.
So you're telling me
And the
6
chainsaw.
seasons in, all of a sudden they start referencing video games out of nowhere?
Yeah, but like what Microsoft games have swords? They don't exist.
Halo.
Like what that fucking
That's it.
yeah.
Noob knife.
I'm
Right?
not saying it's a conspiracy. I'm
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're
clear
getting some game sponsor. I'm not denying
yeah.
that, but I'm just saying don't expect Xbox swords because those don't really exist.
Yeah, I mean the most sword-like thing they have is the noob knife, and then alternatively, it's not really a sword; it's a chainsaw. You have a chainsaw gun.
Yeah.
Well, also, Adam mentions a good point. The Halo sword, the Covenant one. That's
the
one with
noob
circle
knife.
Yeah, the
noob knife.
Oh, is that what you? Is that I didn't know.
That's what we're saying. The noob knife.
call it
Yeah,
the
that's
noob
the
knife.
Covenant
Knife.
sword. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves has swords.
There you go.
Oh man, that's funny, man.
There you go. They had swords.
Yeah.
They got swords.
Yeah.
They got swords.
All right, move on because I don't want to speculate too much. All right, moving on to the next question here. We've answered this one before. I'll just throw it in here. What games were so revolutionary that developers continue copying their tropes today?
Uncharted.
That's one. I'll rattle off a couple of easy ones. Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda. Resident Evil 1 and 4. Right, a bunch of games. Halo,
Uncharted.
with the double sticks. You Uncharted again, Manny? You gonna keep saying that?
No, Uncharted. Come on, how many games are doing that now? It's like, guy walking through a forest, talking to himself, being kind of quippy. Come on.
Well, that's been happening. There was a bunch of games. I bet again we've kind of answered this one before. So you can
I have to throw out the granddaddy that is Halo.
There you go. Yeah, Halo, of course.
Yeah, we just still use its
double
control
sticks.
scheme today.
Yeah.
Yep, there's that.
Yeah. Like I said, Resident Evil 4, like the third person camera angle. Zelda with the lock on, that's still used today.
Well, Zelda helped pioneer the structure of dungeons forever.
Yeah.
Check this out. Halo, and this is I'm just talking exclusively here consoles here because I know PC has done this before Halo, but Halo, I remember back in the day in the 2000s, Halo had Forge mode, and for those people that don't know what Forge mode is just it's a map creator where you can get any of the Halo maps and
it was Minecraft before Minecraft, man.
Exactly. So not only that, but I remember even back in the day, PS3 fanboys would always mention, "Yo, man, Little Big Planet is gonna come out and destroy Forge," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I mean, Little Big Planet, that's his whole shtick, Forge is just a game type. It's just like one of the many things you can do in Halo." So I thought it was pretty innovative in that aspect.
Yo, John Price is right. Who's really innovative too? The Elder Scrolls for introducing DLC. Or a popularizing horse armor.
Oh, we forgot one of them. We forgot the bit. We forgot the main one though.
Which one? Oh, wait. Rise, Son of Rome, right?
Yeah, Rise in a row, man. You already know.
That game is so revolutionary. Not only did it influence games that came out afterwards, influence games that came out before it. Like this game is
influence
crazy.
Pong, man.
You know, it fucking influence in time in both directions. Some Tenet shit, you know. Oh man!
Oh, shit.
All right. Again, we've answered this one before, so you can check out that last episode, whatever that may be. All right. Next up, Black Metal Gamer. All right. Black. What fighting game character would you like to fight in real life? And it has to be a cage match, and a knock. It's got to be to a knockout or to the death.
Damn.
I'm going to go first. No, I don't want to fight none of these motherfuckers. They'll kick my ass. You know.
Yeah. Well,
I'll be.
I ain't gonna.
I'll be the Don King to somebody. You know. Oh, you're getting this. You know, and take all their money and shit. I'll do that, but I'm not trying to fight nobody. Fuck out of here, man.
You're like, this is my boy Ryu.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the greatest fighter out there.
Yeah, I use this.
You have
joke.
your hair all. You let your hair grow.
Yeah, let my hair up and shit. I'll be Don King, Tony King. You know. You know. No, but I'm Hispanic. There'll be Tony Reyes. You know.
There you go.
Tony del Rey.
El Rey, you know. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh yeah. I use this joke all the time in Monster Hunter whenever I'm facing off against like a monster by myself. I have to take it back so you guys actually understand the joke. There was one episode of The Simpsons, right, where everybody in town started fighting each other, right? And Mo had to fight against Dedrick Tatum, you know, their version of Mike Tyson, right? So every time I'm facing a monster, I'm like, Dedrick Tatum's in front of me. So I'm thinking about this scenario. Like, imagine me versus like Ryu or fucking Law. They're Dedrick Tatum, and like, why am I facing this guy? He's gonna kick my tail. He's gonna kill me. You know. So now I'm good. Brad, I'm gonna go to you because you're the most violent person on Throwdown. So, who do you want to fight from a fighting game?
Oh man, really? I don't know. I'm thinking about that. I'm kind of the same thing. Like, first of all, to knock out possible brain damage and or death, like I don't think anybody's gonna be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna volunteer for death cage match for funsies. So yeah, I can't really. Problem is, most video game characters that you play as could probably kick somebody's ass. I mean, they're all fairly capable.
Like literally, they all kick your fucking ass. Like
they're all warriors.
Even Dan will kick our fucking asses. You know.
Yes.
You know Mario would whoop your ass.
For as bad as he did.
Fighting game characters. Brett, this is specifically fighting game characters.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, no. Then there's nobody. Yeah. I don't know martial arts, man.
Yeah. You know who I'll fight, Manny? What was the name of that random Japanese guy in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter? I'll fight that guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the fan guy, right? Yeah, he was the secret character in Japan. Yeah, that dude.
I'll fight. Yeah, I'll fight.
He was
that
literally
guy.
a nerd.
Yeah, he was just a fucking nerd.
He's literally a nerd.
Do we get like, martial arts training or some sort of superpowers here? Like, I don't
know. If it's me.
Yeah, you're right about that. Because think about it. If you're fighting against Ryu and shit, he'll just blast a Hadouken and you're done. You know.
Yeah, you just be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
Oh no! You know what? You know what you do? You blow their minds. You walk sideways because they only throw fireballs in 2 dimensions, like forward.
Yeah. No, I don't want to fight.
True.
I don't want to fight any of those Soul Calibur guys. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, they actually walk sideways.
Yeah, they got weapons. You know,
they got swords.
All right, so
you won't bleed. You won't bleed if you got. With their swords, they just make giant sparks that come out of you.
The closest I can get is I wouldn't mind being put in a cage with some of the Dead or Alive girls.
Hey, that would be a good way to get knocked out. I wouldn't mind that. You're right about that. You know, I think. Oh, you know what? I'm taking that answer, Brett. Yeah, that's a good one. I want to fight the Dead or Alive girls. They could kick my ass. And I won't. And I'll die a happy man. You know.
They'll fuck with you. They'll throw in Tengu or the dude in the silver alien suit. What's his name? You're like, I didn't sign up for this. Damn it.
That's like there's this one mission, and this has happened in a bunch of Dragon Quest games where so in the game they have this thing called Puff, where basically a hot girl puts your face on her chest and stuff. So one of them, you go upstairs with this one chick. She's like, "You want a puff puff?" Like, "Yeah, I want a puff puff." So you start getting the puff puff. It's all black. You don't see nothing. Then the lights come on. It was her fucking dad, this big muscly dude. I was like, "Oh shit, no!" Like, "Did you like the puff puff?" "No, I didn't." Oh man.
Or is it sometimes it's a slime? They kind of screw
Sometimes,
you over.
yeah.
They put two slimes.
There was another one. I was like, "Yeah, I want the puff puff," and she like ties me up and shit. Like my legs, like, "Oh, this is getting kinky right now." And she pushes me off a fucking cliff, And I dipped it to the clouds. Puff puff puff. I'm like, "Oh, you fucking bitch, you got me."
Wait, which game is this?
Dragon Quest 11.
Oh shit!
But a lot of the Dragon Quest games have that same riff,
Yeah, Dragon Quest all have the puff puff thing, but it's like as of late, it's become like everything but what it originally was.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else who wants to fight some fighting game characters?
No, absolutely not. If I get killed,
no
way.
Jesper
good.
from Rockstar Table Tennis, that motherfucker.
That's not a fighting game. That's not a
fighting game.
It's a fighting game to me. Fucking that's table tennis. I want to hit him in the head with a paddle and beat his ass.
Like, I don't even want to fight the Daytona car. I think will kick my ass too.
Oh man, fuck or any of the Sonic characters from it, Fighters Mega Mix or the Sonic?
Yeah, no. Yeah, they got they got rabies, man. What's up?
A Honda.
A Honda.
Yes.
Was that his like
E Honda?
His little brother or something?
Oh, that's the car you fight.
Oh, a Honda. Oh, I'll hurt my hands though. You mean the car you fight in between Street Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. He means a Street Fighter car.
Yeah, he means a Street Fighter.
Just the car
a
that
Honda.
You beat up.
That's a Honda. Or the car you fight in Final Fight. Oh my god. Oh man! All right.
I'll fight that car.
There you go. Fuck that thing up.
I mean, I would say the car, because sometimes you have a little pipe that disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't fight back. You can kick in the windows, and it'd be pretty damn fun to smash a car. So yeah, I'll go with the car. Street Fighter car.
Oh man! All right, moving on here. This one's also about fighting games. I'm noticing a theme from Mr. Black Metal Gamer, right? Who is the top tier fighting game developer in the past versus now? So who are the best?
Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom. You already know.
Capcom was up there.
Well, did Arc System Works take the throne?
I would say Arc System Works is probably the best one out right now.
Yeah, I would say they're the best one right now.
I mean, admittedly, it's either them or NetherRealms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like here's the thing. I want to say this, like, from what I've played of the the new Mortal Kombat games, definitely NetherRealms have kind of stepped up as far as actually controls.
Yeah, they're really good controls.
Mortal Kombat games, like OG Mortal Kombat games, controlled like kind of shit.
Yeah, let's just be real here.
Like those old games were kind of shitty until they started when they got to like 10 and on. Those are pretty solid fighting games.
Yeah, they're really good. So yeah, again, in the past, Capcom was probably the top tier. SNK was really good back in the day. They're still good too, Capcom's still, I don't know. With the fighting games, they need to step it up.
Has anybody played the new Fate? Was it the new King of Fighters 3D game or the Samurai Showdown?
Samurai Showdown's really good. The new one's really good. So SNK is doing their thing. They're doing their thing now, I would say. But I think the top of the food chain is Arc System Works for sure.
Yeah, I've been playing a few of those. I finished. I totally completed the story mode of Grand Blue Fantasy, and then I started playing a little bit of the Dragon Ball game. Can I say that menu in that game fucking sucks? Like getting into the fucking game is the worst experience ever. That shit is garbage.
Yeah,
I only like the music in it, but you know why it gets in your head, right? Because you're in the fucking lobby forever.
Yeah, the lobby is garbage. It's like, is there any way? Can you turn this into menu mode where I just need to flip a menu instead of having to walk the stupid little manga character across the room?
Yeah, it's the little characters, right? They're all like piled up together in the little stage. Yep. Oh, I hated that, man.
Yeah, it's like a fight, the world tournament or whatever. The one from Dragon Ball. Represented as that. Yeah. All right, Arc System Works. All right, moving on. Next question. This one is from Chuko2565. We've also been asked this, but he's a new guy, so we could give a
That's a new name, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give him an answer. Question is, and remember, this is for whatever capacity you are in this field. Okay, so how did you guys get into gaming journalism or gaming podcasting? We'll go down the line here. Adam, we'll go with you because you actually had prior history, like publishing shit.
Yeah, I was working at a magazine. I think I could say it's not around anymore. A Yellow Rat Bastard magazine. I was out in New York and did that for a while. Did interviews, did marketing to get ads and interviews and stuff like that, and it was cool. And then I did some websites. It was at Gaming Radars. I did that for like a year and a half. Then took some time off, not really doing anything. And then Tony, you and Manny were doing the cool stuff, and with Chris. And then I started doing some stuff there. And then you guys started doing a podcast. And then I moved, and then jumped on this. And then I met Rich, and then joined on to the Coalition as the associate editor. Been there for it's almost 3 years now.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Time flies. Time flies.
And you're still doing your thing there, reviews, podcasts, and everything.
I do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. I do the podcast, I do the reviews, but I also have a bunch of other people that I distribute certain content to for reviews and stuff like that. And then I help out with Rick. So a lot of these publishers, they'll send me stuff, or they'll say, hey, we want to know if you can cover it. And then I reach out to the guys on our team to see if anyone's interested. Because that's one thing that, unlike other sites, we don't just take everything, and if we're gonna take a code, we're gonna review it.
Yeah,
there's no point in grabbing
a
whole bunch of them, and then next they start hitting you up like, yo, we sent you 5 and you didn't post shit. Mm-hmm. So that's it. So we try not to waste anyone's time when we do it, and then that's it. And so I do a lot of that now on the back end, and it's cool. And then of course I do this one, and then I do the I Am Negan Walking Dead podcast, and you can check that out. And that's that's my whole history with all of it.
Good stuff, Manny.
Well, my podcasting world is also semi-connected to Tony's podcasting world, because initially, a long time ago, I was talking to Tony, like looking at how many games he sort of, was beating like back to back. I'm like, dude, you should totally like write about the games that you kick. He's like, fuck that shit. I don't want to do that. It's like, one guy I'll be just like with a blog reviewing games. That's bullshit. And I'm like, all right, let's both do something. Yeah, so that's where we sort of started Cool Stuff the blog, which actually still exists.
Can you believe it's actually been a little over 10 years?
Yeah, so it was 2012, right? Not 2012, well, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But anyway,
it was 2010 we started it.
2010, yeah. So we started doing that, and we had, again, like Adam said, we had Chris on there. We had the evil Chris on there.
Yes.
We had, we had Adam, and then we were just all sort of doing those things. And then from there, it's funny because I'm telling Tony's story while telling mine.
You're saving me a lot when I gets to my turn,
So then when, Tony eventually moved on from Cool Stuff the blog to STFU and Play, the shirt that he's currently wearing right now, if you're watching right there. So he moved on with Torrent to STFU and Play, and on there is when he got onto that site, that is when I became sort of involved in doing sort of reviews and stuff like that. We sort of migrated a few of our reviews over from Cool Stuff the blog over to STFU and Play to sort of do like old school games and stuff like that. And and that's on STFU and Play when Tony created the Throwdown. Eventually I sort of came on the show. Initially I wasn't actually originally on the show. It was Riku, him, Jeezy, and I think that was it.
Hardjess.
And Hardjess. Yes, Hardjess.
Yeah, remember her?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's how I sort of got into that sort of stuff. I mean, before that hand, I wasn't really doing any sort of reviews or podcasts or anything like that. I was just, doing my comic stuff. So it was sort of nice to kind of come along for the ride. And essentially, I did some reviews. I did some little bits of coverage on there, wherever I could fit it in there. So it's sort of like, and it just all started from just saying, Tony, hey, let's do this thing.
Yeah. But don't forget, you also made a little bit of scratch,
Yeah.
in the gaming industry too. It's not just the
Yeah.
podcasting; it led to other
Yeah,
things.
the part of that is it's not only the podcasting but also working, actually moving on to sort of working in the game industry, and that's a little bit of an extra story because it's and that all just sort of stemmed from me just posting my work, the work that I did on my spare time online. Guys just posting my Metal Gear or like, I don't know, in 2015 or 2014, I started posting all my old Metal Gear art that I just did on my spare time, and it got a whole bunch of attention. Like, I actually got work from it. Like, I worked at Konami, I worked at the company that does BioShock 2K, all from that first bit of doing Metal Gear stuff, because all the people that in Konami or whatever, whoever moved on, these were still remembered me when they moved on, and they pulled me onto all these different projects, and then a bunch of other things. Like I just recently did a job for with Swim Sanity, and that was through Hip Hop Gamer, who I met through Torrance and Tony. So it's like all sort of interconnected and winded around each other, which is amazing.
Pretty crazy. Carlos, how'd you get into gaming podcasting, bruh?
Oh man. So kind of like, just to go where Manny left off, Torrance and Warzone, I used to be on like one of the live viewers on the Warzone every week. And back in the day, it's like it was an actual chat, like a TeamSpeak chat or a Skype chat. It used to change all the time.
Yeah, it was mostly TeamSpeak he was using.
It was
first. It was
TeamSpeak.
Skype at first, though. You're right.
Yeah. So it used to be a lot of like Tony and a whole bunch of other people that I still talk to today that we used to be on Warzone. Torrance used to host the show and stuff, and he would let other people talk sometimes. And then the best parts were always the post Warzones. We used to go in all the time, So, and from that, me, Jagon, QL, Wolfhawk, and Damien. We started this podcast. It was like a spin-off called The Fan Zone. So we did that podcast for a little bit. And QL still does it. So shout out to QL. Jagon left the industry.
I left the industry.
And from that, I was still friends with Tony. And then from that, I went into the Walking Dead podcast with you and Riku. I think we did that.
Yeah, it was me. It was me, you, and Riku. Riku was there for a bit. It was mostly me, you, and Rachel that did that.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, Riku, he kept forgetting everybody's names and shit. He just kept saying, "Oh yeah, that nigga." I'm like, Riku, man, you got to remember these names, bro. So we got him out, and then we got you in, and we're like, hey, Carlos actually knows what the fuck he's talking about, and it worked out great,
So we'll come full circle with the whole Walking Dead thing. So we did that. And speaking of Rachel, we did also Breaking Bad, and we also did Game of Thrones with Rachel, with Brett, with Colby.
Colby.
Those were great shows, man. I used to always enjoy doing those with everyone, and we used to always shoot the shit.
Those were good times.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, those really were good times, man. And from that, I joined Tony, Riku, Manny, Chris, and the manga god, Larry Williams. We started doing Otanime, which was an anime podcast. And actually, I came in a couple of episodes after you guys started it, I believe.
Yeah. Cause there was one episode we were doing. It was fucking Larry. He wanted us to like review Hunter x Hunter, right? And I'm like, bro, I am not trying to watch 120 fucking episodes. I'm like, Carlos, come in here, man. And then it's like, okay, just stick around. You're part of the cast now,
Yeah, that's how it all happened. So I did Otanime, and then a couple of, I don't know if we coincided, but like then Tony like one day asked me, he's like, hey, you want to be on Throwdown? And I'm like, well, not today because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
So the week after, I started being on Throwdown regularly, and then I am doing right now. I am Negan with the Coalition, and Adam hosting and holding it down, and with Richard Bailey Jr. So yeah, it's pretty much my story.
Good stuff. All right, I'll do mine quickly. Manny already said some of it. So yeah, he was telling me for years, yo, dude, you should blog about video games. You play so many. I'm like, I'm not doing that fucking shit. Some one fucking because back in the day, everybody had a blog, and I thought it was the stupidest, corniest thing ever, right? So I'm like, I'm not doing that fucking. This is stupid. He told me this for like 4 years straight. Do a blog. I'm like, fuck that, you know. And then one day he's like, I'm gonna do a blog. I'm like, man, 2 assholes, sure, I'll go for it. And I like, yeah, but I liked it. I was like, oh shit, it's kind of cool writing about video games. But the thing is, the first thing, my first published thing was actually not in cool stuff. My first published game review was actually in the forums that DualShockers used to have. I wrote a review for Enslaved, right? And then I took that review and posted it on Cool Stuff. You know?
Yep.
I did ask permission, like, hey, is it okay if I post this on my blog? I wrote it. It's like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. You know. Every time I plagiarize myself, because I do that sometimes, I ask my editor, like, is it cool if I do this? You know, so did the blogging for like 1.5 years. Then I saw that Torrance was starting a new site, you know, SCFU and Play, and I was like, let me try my hand. I already had all these fucking hundreds of reviews I'd already written and stuff. Showed it to Torrance. He got me on. He was mad at me because I didn't tell about it earlier. He's like, I would have had you on the bid bag, motherfucker. You know, did the cool stuff for a while. That's when I started going to E3, going to all these gaming events and stuff. That's where I met Brett and Rachel and Brian and Carlos and all these other people. You know, by the way, for you guys who don't know, I've known Manny for like since I was 13. I've known Chris since I was 20, and I've known Adam as long as I know Manny. So I've known these guys forever. Did that for a while. That was good. Then I went over to DualShockers for about 7 months. Then I went to the Coalition for about 1.5 years. Then I started writing for PC Mag and Geek.com. Geek.com is no longer around. Rest in peace. They actually died about 1 year ago. Ironically, before the Rona. And I've been at PC Mag ever since. You know, making money off this shit. Write for Laptop Mag as well. Tom's Guide. Do a bunch of shit, you know. So it's been good. It's been good. All right, Brett, how'd you get started?
Let's see. One day, Tony found me on the side of the road, starving and malnourished, and after taking me and nursing me back to health, raised me to be a gamer and talk shit on games.
You know, that's the secret origin.
Nah, I was, honestly, there's a part there that I can't fill in because I know Rachel was talking with Tony and doing some of the stuff with the site before I even came in, and, you know, she, I guess, had mentioned to Tony that, you know, I tended to like to yell about things. And so I came on as a special guest actually first. Came on as a special guest.
We had you on to talk about Lock and Key. This was back when Throughout still did pop culture shit. So that's what we had you on for.
Yes, we did.
And then by the end it was like, yo, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about. Let's just keep him, you know?
And they started to feed me and I just, you know, stuck around.
Yep. Big good stuff, but you did some stuff.
Like
you went to you covered some events and stuff back when, you know, for us.
Oh yeah. No, I've actually done some stuff other than the podcast. I've done a couple video game reviews. I did comic book reviews, just light stuff here and there. But generally, my day job keeps me a little busy. But one of these days, I actually hope to reduce my amount of hobbies to do more of that. But right now, it's all I can do to do a lot of tattoos and design things all day and keep up with the news, which sometimes I don't even get to do anymore, which is why you get to see me be completely surprised and angry sometimes.
Yes.
But it works.
There you
These
go.
guys don't fight enough if I'm not around.
This is very true, you know. All right. Brian.
All right. So starting from the beginning, I actually found Hip Hop Gamer on N4G. Yes.
Oh.
Remember that site?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That site's
They're
actually
still around. They're still around, believe it or not.
Oh, by the way, to chime in, you can literally find some of the articles that we from STFU and Play, and like some old you know, was it Warzone articles, like, you know, just like when they announced them on there. Sites are totally long gone, but the N4G things are still there.
Yes. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Again, I found Hip Hop Gamer. I'm trying to remember what article it was. It's either something to do with, well, it was some PlayStation article. I think it was back when he was defending PS3, when everyone was saying that the PS3 is shit to develop for, and of course Hip Hop Gamer was Hip Hop Gamer about it. So yeah, so I latched onto him because he was incredibly entertaining to watch. I had to admit, like, there's no one that's as entertaining as he is. So obviously he'd talk, and then eventually he'd talk about the Warzone, and I'd be like, "What the hell is this Warzone thing that he keeps talking about?" So I did my research, found out about Torrance Davis, found out about the Warzone, started listening, started following Bitbag, and then out of the blue, I just hear that Torrance is saying that, hey, I have a new site, and I'm hiring for some editors and some writers, and he's looking for a guy who's doing PC stuff. And I was like, I have a PC, I have some free time, so hey, get like review games and stuff like that. Should be fun. So I did apply for the role. Again, I had zero experience writing, like literally none. So he literally just said, hey, just write me a review of a game and I'll read it. So I wrote a review for Prototype 2 because I just love that game. And he said, yeah, it's decent enough, again, spelling mistakes here and there, issues with grammar, but on the whole, it's okay. It's okay enough to the point where it can be cleaned up and look nice. So he said, yeah, I'll bring you on board. Then was at STFU and Play, and then of course that's where Torrance was. Sorry, that's where Tony was with the throwdown with GT and stuff. I used to comment a lot on the chats because I used to get things wrong about PC gaming, and then and then I used to watch it live. And then one day Tony just said, "Hey, you know what? Stop talking shit in the chat, Brian, and get on the show." So I said, "Okay, let's go," and that's history.
Yeah. By the way, because PC gamers used to come at us hard on Throwdown those early days. As soon as we got Brian on, they stopped. That all stopped. Funny stuff, man. But yeah, by the way, that was the first days of STF and Play. It was me, Riku, Hard Jess, Brian, and Jeezy, and Oog Funk. Like, we were the first people there, And yeah, I edited Brian. Shit, Brian, you were one of the better writers. There's another guy there that wrote really bad, but I think you guessed who it was.
I seen.
Oh, God. I had to flex my editing skills there. And Chris, you have an interesting one because you were involved in gaming even before all of this podcasting stuff. If Chris is around. Oh, he might be having...
Oh, sorry.
There you are.
Sorry.
Yeah, so your history stretches back even before podcasting and writing and all that with video games.
Yeah, so in 2007, I got hired by Nintendo, and I went to work for them. And I think you were right. It was 2010. You were talking about cool stuff, and I remember I set up the site.
Yeah, you did.
And we're just right because it was just fun, right? I was like, okay, I can moonlight because Nintendo is very strict about like doing any type of moonlighting that involves video games. Like, you could do other stuff. It's like, we don't care if you sell raincoats, just don't do video games
or sell your body in some cases. But...
oh yeah, don't do that either, right? You got to represent the brand. They tell you that. So I was like, yeah, cool. So we did some fun write-ups and stuff, and you had gone to STFU and Play, and I remember the site kind of languished. And then when I had left Nintendo, I went to Rockstar for a little while, and then I had gone to another job. You told me to talk to Torrance, and then Torrance, I had done some updates to the site. I had built the E3 section stuff, and then through Torrance, I got to go to E3 with you guys for a couple of times. And then since I was no longer shackled, in silence because I was working in video games, I could talk. So Tony's like, come on the show. So, and then that's how I got to be part of Throwdown. And then the rest is history.
Yes. So yeah, you can see we have credentials, which is always good. But I like the fact that we come from different areas and stuff, so we come at things from a different perspective, and knowledgeable too. Because some podcasts out there, it's like, yo, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Oh man! Yeah. All right, what's up?
I remember what to add on to what Chris said, because I lived with him at the time. I remember he's like, "Man, there's so many things I want to say, but I can't because I'm still working here."
Oh my God! If they ever they were strict. If they ever found out, like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Chris and I for a while we entertained me interviewing him about some of the things going on Nintendo, but then we decided, nah, let's not do that. You got to get in trouble, You probably would have hardcore,
Yeah, man.
Nintendo's a bunch of they're like the Huts, they're a bunch of gangsters. All right, man. Let's get some bonus questions in here since we still got time. Bonus questions. So first bonus question is from John Christ. All right, what unreleased upcoming indie games are you most looking forward to, and why?
Unreleased. What was it?
Just what upcoming indie games are you looking forward to?
Oh, indie games.
Yeah, indie games.
Easy for me, and it's sort of out, but it's not out. Retromania. I'm looking forward to that game, and it's like an 1816 bit. It's supposed to be like the predecessor of what you call it? Oh my god, I'm blanking on my name. But my other all-time WrestleFast, my all-time arcade favorite wrestling game. So it's out on PC, but it's not out on console, and they keep pushing it back. So I'm really hoping that when it does make that crossover into console, that it lives up to the hype. It's been getting good reviews on PC, and I'm really looking forward to it. So
theoretically, Tony, you could actually say that Ninja Turtles is
that's exactly my answer.
Indie game that you have right now.
That's exactly my answer. I was like, because I'm like, hold on, those guys are technically indie. So
are they? I guess so.
Yep, that's my I already thought about that when I saw it.
It's an indie game.
I'm like, I think it's Shredder's Revenge. Is Returnal considered indie? I think so, isn't it?
Returnal?
Yeah, and by the way, John Christ, you're messing me up right now. Put an E at the end of indie, Brand. It's not INDI, it's INDIE. You're messing with my head. John, bro, are you serious? Hold on, I'm stopping the show right now. He's asking me, where's another Mutant Ninja Turtles game? Have you not been listening to Throwdown, bro? Did you not see us go fucking nuts? I think we even had to Throwdown clicks. I have to yell at you right now. I have to yell, man. I have to yell right now. John, bruh, what the hell? Like, you didn't see?
Oh yeah,
you weren't on Twitter. You didn't see me going fucking crazy. You didn't see the Throwdown episode where we fucking got crazy. Carlos even made a clip of this shit. Yeah, you are busted, motherfucker.
Man, leave John Christ alone, man.
Yeah, he's like busted. I'm like, that's fucking
but
right.
it's this year, right?
I don't know. Oh, Brett, what were you saying, man?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, Tony got you. He caught you.
Yeah, he did.
Red-handed.
Caught him good, man. Man, you know what? Even you being on Twitter, which I told you, stay away from if you need to. No excuse not to listen to Throwdown, man. You got 4 old motherfuckers on this podcast raving about this game. You couldn't have missed it, All right, so yeah, that's my Ninja Turtles. Manny, I'm guessing that's yours too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one I can really think of. To be honest, I don't. It's funny because like indie games seem to just sort of come out of nowhere. The ones that I end up sort of being interested, I don't like. It's weird. It's kind of like the way old games used to be released, where it's like you never knew when they were coming. And it was like, oh, hey, that's interesting. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, because normally my answer would be like, no,
No.
I mean, by the way, I played that fucking maquette game. I'm like, see, this is why I don't like the indie games, man. Like, so many of them are so fucking pretentious, But of course, you do have exceptions. Like, was it Cyber Shadow? Game is tough, but that's a good game. No pretension there. It's just like, hey, old school 8-bit shit.
What about that other Ninja Robot game? The one with the first person one where you're like running on the walls and all that shit.
Oh, I never even heard of that.
They keep showing it. It's like cyberpunky sort of thing, but it's like you're a ninja robot that runs on walls.
Oh, that's interesting, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, that game looks dope. It's out.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that thing, but it's like you have like a grappling hook and you run on walls and you chop things in half, like robots.
Yeah, like
in half.
it's like basically it's like a speed course for like melee ninja cutting. And like anybody you hit with a sword, you fucking cut in half, but you can also get taken down just as easily. Like there's no weird armor shield. If you get cut in half with a sword, you fucking die.
Nice. All right. Actually, Brett, since you're talking, are there any indie games you're looking forward to this year?
Honestly, the best way to keep track of those things, unfortunately, as far as I know, is Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't logged on to Steam in a bit, which that's problematic in and of itself because if you only look at Steam, then anything that's not on Steam or promoted by Steam just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. I'm sure Brian could go off on that problem for a while, but it's really tough to know what up and coming indie games are good.
Yeah. All right. That is true though. What did I see in the chat? Sifu. That's that fucking martial arts game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Where they're fighting in the hallway.
Yeah.
Forward.
I don't know.
My brother, my brother seemed really interested in that one.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna have to see more about that.
Yeah, I need to see more. I'm like, I don't know. It looks kind of corny.
Yeah.
Carlos.
I don't know if this counts, but the Cuphead DLC that has been been in development forever now. Yeah, I just want more Cuphead. I love the fucking original game, so even if it's just DLC, and honestly, I think they're gonna change the phrasing and be like, no, this is actually a new game.
That's what I think they're gonna do. Again, people don't understand how much hard work goes into animating that shit. May as well just do a new game, you know?
Exactly. So, Cuphead 2. That's what I want. I want to play that.
Nice, Brian.
Okay, there we go. I have a few, but I'll just stick to the ones I'm most looking forward to. Okay, so on that list, there is a game called Project DT. Someone put it in one of the Twitter chats. It looks quite nice. It's like a nice action game, kind of like your Platinum games. So yeah, that looks kind of cool. And the other one is called Lost Soul Aside. Now, the question is, those of you that remember the name may remember it as one of the games shown in a trailer back in TGS 2019. And it was originally being made by one guy, but he eventually had to hire out guys in. So I think there's like now 4 or 5 people, give or take. And it's in the same vein, and it looks really cool. So yeah, just mostly that. Everything else that I'm looking forward to is already out. And Black Myth Wukong also looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
The Chinese game, right?
Yeah, the Chinese game.
Yeah,
it's funny that those.
I think that's actually all.
That's all of them.
Those 3 games are all Chinese games, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they're all Chinese games. I just noticed. They're taking over, man.
All right, anybody? Did I miss anybody? I think everybody went right. All right.
I didn't go. Well, I mean, the only ones I can remember is Turtles, of course, because we talked about it. And then there's an indie game, I think it was supposed to come out last year. May have been delayed because of the Rona, but it was called Tunic. And it looked like Zelda. It was like, like cute little animal characters, but it was very much a top-down Zelda game. And that looked interesting. I don't know what happened to that game, though.
All right.
But that's it.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Next bonus question. From Mob Hits. Can EA be considered the worst company of all time? Oh, man.
That's a tough question, man.
I
mean,
I think
a company of all time? Like, company? But video game company, maybe, but company?
Yeah.
Like out of every company?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
They put Atari on top of that fucking list. They put a lot.
Go ahead, Brian. I hear you over there.
Okay, see, I'm with Chris on this one. Like, if it's just game companies, then yeah, I would. Like, it's a very strong argument for them being the worst. But in terms of companies, is it Shell? Like, who's the one that keeps fucking up with the oil? Like in the Gulf of Mexico and all that stuff.
BP. That's BP. Yeah.
BP. Yeah. That's
British Petroleum.
Like, just leaking oil everywhere, and then just saying, fuck it, we don't care, and then just moving on. It's like, bro, like, oil is disgusting. It's dangerous to everything it touches. Like, it's probably one of the worst things you can do to any type of environment, just leak oil everywhere. So, yeah, with that in mind, and given how BP just doesn't give a damn, like, EA is not the worst. I would... You could argue for maybe top 20 companies, like the worst, but not the worst.
So you know what? It's just a simplified. Let's keep it just within the realm of gaming then, because there are worse companies than fucking like EA is not causing oil spills, you know.
But then the question now is, Tony, who's actually worse than EA in terms of gaming wise?
Activision. After last week,
are they really that much worse? I mean, EA EA is known as the monolith that devours game companies and then chews them out and kills them.
Yeah.
Well, Activision is the company that
Fires 190
severs
people and then-
employees
and
to
then
give
gives their
their
boss
CEO
them.
enormous bonuses. You know, it's like
No.
6 in one and half a dozen the other. It's just like, which
Damn,
one is
John,
it?
what the fuck? You don't listen to Throwdown, man. He's like, what happened last
Oh.
week? Bro, we covered this. We covered this. Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Activision for now. Just because of that alone, I'm like, bro.
Some might say CD Projekt Red.
Oh shit!
Oh no, I don't think so. But yeah,
I mean, they've been beat up so bad. I wouldn't dump on them with that.
yeah, I
No,
wouldn't.
no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, at this point, it's just bad to harp on them now,
Right now, it's really like a huge toss up between evil empires because like it's always been Activision and EA. So it's like, which one is going to be the one that's going to be the more assholey this year? So yeah, this year it's going to be it's Activision. But when EA starts closing down more studios and essentially pissing on old franchises, then it's them again.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam would say EA. I mean, they still got you.
They got your
And
FIFA.
for boosting, they got the FIFA.
Fucking- They got me for boosting. Fuck.
Oh,
I'm always
man.
checking too, and then they're always giving me shit too. They're like, "Oh, we're giving you all these goodies." I'm like, "For what? I can't do shit with it." It's like,
Yeah. All right. And the final question of the night. This one, another fighting question. A lot of fights going on. Fighting games though. Tumeke. All right. I'm gonna say who is that? Silver Surfer? Or that's just a random.
No, it's a figure, but he's doing a Hadouken pose.
I was like, is that Silver Surfer?
Silver Surfer.
And to make, I'm going to say the names exactly as you wrote them. If Jimbo, Ryan, Uncle Phil, and Douglas Bowser, you could throw Reggie in there too, were fighting game characters, what would be their styles and powers? This is a fun one. So what would yeah, we got to get imaginative with this motherfucker.
So far, I've only gotten Uncle Phil's super, which is just throwing money at everything.
Throwing money, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, better like Dio in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He just comes out with a safe on someone, just like jumps in there, grabs a safe, and throws it at you.
Yeah.
I would think like Jim Ryan is definitely like I don't know, like a wizard or something.
Fuck Jim Ryan.
He's a wizard.
Yeah, like
wizard?
like warlocks or witches, like one of those things. Like he's just like a sleazy kind of thing that just shoots stuff at you.
Hey, don't give wizards a bad name.
I was about to say wizards
Well,
are
yeah.
good. You got to eat so he's a sorcerer then. Something
He's
evil.
I got Carlos. Jim Ryan is Bezelgeist.
Oh, he's the bezel guys, yeah. He just drops.
He shows up when
You just
nobody
hate
wants him. He shows up when nobody wants him.
Damn.
Phil Spencer's like Blanca for me. He's like kind of green, kind of brolic kind of dude. Like he just looks like he manhandles people all the time.
And he has
Are
electricity.
you sure he's not Zangief? No.
No, that's Reggie.
Yeah, it's Reggie Zangief.
Reggie's pretty
And who's
tall.
Doug Bowser?
I don't know. He has turtle shells. I don't know.
Doug Bowser's like Tung Fu Ru. He's like this little frail-looking old man, and then you find out he's this fucking Hulk. He hulks out.
Oh shit!
You find out he has this secret ability that nobody knew.
All right. What I can't think of anything. I'm not that imaginative.
I think Jim Ryan is. Oh man, there's a character in one of those fighting games that literally just has, like, to go off of what Carlos said, that just literally has other people do their other moves. Like they just pop in and do a move. He's that guy.
He's that guy. Yeah, he's getting other people do his dirty work.
Yeah, he's like
I think
huh?
I think of Mokujin from Tekken, possibly.
Did Mokujin have?
They're like he looks like a bunch of tree stumps.
Yeah, he's a bunch of. But he doesn't do other people don't do his moves.
Yo, Dumeka says Doug Bowser comes in and takes your games away after a certain time. So he'll steal the other character's moves. You know.
Oh, so are you saying that he's the Edge Master, or he's what's his face, the soul Edge energy, whatever the fucking Eternal, you know, from the Soul Calibur.
Oh shit.
I would say I could also say that what's his face is like Shao Kahn too.
Yeah, who's what's his face?
Jim Ryan. Because he's always laughing at you and shit like that.
You weak, pathetic
You know, just laughing
fool.
in the background.
Yeah. You'll never win.
You'll never
Jim Ryan
win.
is Yoshimitsu.
He's Yoshimitsu.
Yeah, dude.
How's that?
Yoshimitsu?
I gotta hear this one.
Well, because he's gonna harm his own company just to fuck you over. It's like that move where he turns around and stabs himself.
Oh shit!
Damn.
You weak, pathetic fool.
Yeah, I don't know what Phil. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what what character Phil could be.
There is a fighting game character that throws money around, isn't there? Like that sounds like
I
something
mean,
the character does.
I was gonna say like maybe he's like Geese or Rugal.
Yeah, but I mean, you can make up your own powers.
Just give him he's that big toad dude from Kung Fu Hustle. That's more of a super villain type of thing. Just suck everything up. I can see him.
Are you saying he's like Kirby? He's a fighting game
there you
character.
go.
He's
He's like
just
Kirby.
suck up all the other companies and
That's it. He's Kirby.
spit them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sony's been known to steal other people's ideas, so he could be like Rogue, in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. She just takes other people's powers and shit.
Power drain.
Power drain.
Or Shang Tsung.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, there you go. It has begun.
It has begun. Your soul is mine.
Your soul. I find when I was Shang Tsung's biggest lines are not from the games; they're from the fucking movie.
Yes. Well, yeah, he did say flawless victory and fatality though in the movie as well.
Yeah, he did. But like Shao Kahn, his lines from the game. You'll never win. Go ahead, Brett.
Johnny Cage.
Who would Johnny Cage?
Phil
be?
Spencer.
Phil Spencer. He looks kind of like that. Yeah.
He does kind of look like Johnny Cage.
You were talking about like isn't there a character just throws money around? Johnny Cage.
That's right. Yeah, that's what he does. That's
Fucking
right.
rolls it in a
There
limo,
you go.
Yeah.
glasses,
That's right. And he'll
fucking
punch you in
poses
the.
for the cameras.
Yep. And he'll
Seems
punch
a
you in
bit
the nuts.
conceited.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him too. Kind of Vince Vaughn looking dude. Oh man. Uncle
Hits
Phil
in
is
the
like Dan.
balls.
Damn, he goes, Uncle Phil is like Dan from Street Fighter, trying to be like the other guys, but not as good. Oh shit!
Oh no!
All right, guys. I just want to, I have a bone to pick with you guys. To be honest,
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
we spent what, like 20 hours talking about fighting games today, and there's been no mention of Chun-Li at all times.
Well,
What's up with this, guys?
we could talk
Hey,
about her now.
nobody there hasn't been a mention worthy of Chun-Li. You only bust out that card when you're fucking serious.
Oh shit! There you go.
Nobody in that line deserves to be Chun-Li.
Yeah, none of these guys have Chun-Li's powers, man.
All right, well,
Because
I'm gonna write an
everybody's
article
still
about
angry that Chun-Li is. Everybody's still angry that Chun-Li is not in Mortal Kombat.
All right,
well, that's why
Carlos.
By
Carlos,
the
right
way,
to follow up. Why
Yeah, right
she's
to
not
follow
in
up.
Killer
Yeah, how come
Instinct?
she's not in Killer Instinct, man? By the way, did you guys see how Chun-Li's animated in Fortnite? She's been animated way too well for that fucking game. It's crazy. I'm like, hold on, what is going on here? And they got her character.
They're all animated that way.
Yeah, I'm like, what? For that cheesy game? I was very surprised.
No, they're all the dances are animated really nice like that.
Yeah, very surprised. Motion capture, obviously, it looks good. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
the fuck?
they're using like a bit of motion capture and a little bit of things and animation. Yeah.
And again, I'm also surprised they didn't tone her down, if you know what I mean. Like she is
They didn't
very.
nerf her assets.
No, they did not. I was like, she is very Chun-Li.
they did that with here's the thing, they sort of chose the most iconic versions of these characters.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to Ryu looks like himself for the most part, and all of them sort of look like themselves. Even Lara Croft, they didn't even choose the new Lara Croft. They
used the
chose
old
old
one, right?
Lara Croft.
Yeah. Very
But
interesting.
the pixel looking one with the
No, no,
Well, they literally did a high res version of the Pixel one.
nice. The old polygon, where she was like 20 polygons and shit. She was more than that, obviously.
Her chest was a triangle.
Yeah, it's just a triangle, It's funny, man. All right, that's gonna do it for us. So, does anyone need to plug anything here?
Yeah, usual stuff. Excellence. The Excellence Kickstarter is going to be ending on the 27th. So if you're interested in picking up the ultimate edition of the first edition of our books, go check that out. As well as got some stuff coming from DC. Got a big one right here, which is coming out in April the 10th, which is, what is it? Dark Knights Death Metal: The Darkest Night. Crazy long name, but yeah, me and Kari are in that thing. Also got stuff for the Mortal Wonder Woman and a bunch of other DC stuff, and as well as Excellence. So I got all that stuff going. And be sure to check out our, if you haven't seen it, I did about an hour or two stream
3
of
hours.
Throwdown Draws, which was literally, maybe an hour or two before this podcast. So yeah, if you want that, check that out. Was it John Christ was on there hanging out with me, asking me questions, which is great. Yeah, so that's it.
Good stuff. Adam.
Hey, if anyone's still into watching Walking Dead, we got the latest episode podcast I Am Negan up for season 10, episode 20, Splinter. And yes, there is a little Easter egg toward a character from TMNT. So that was fun. So yeah, go ahead, check it out on YouTube or Coalition, Spotify, iTunes. I Am Negan. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, Mighty Nerd. If you want to hear Adam's thoughts on the new Turtle game, check out the episode. We're all hyped, man. We're all hyped for it. As for I have stuff to plug. All right, so make sure you head over to the coalition.com. That's with the Coalition with a K. Also on YouTube, same name. I am on the spoiler cast for Justice League. And, I went in. Ripped that motherfucker apart, right? And I did the first episode of the Falcon show, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Did that with Richard and Dana. Also did the Justice League with them. And I'm going to be doing every episode on Fridays, I believe, around 5 p.m. We're going to be doing those live on YouTube for all 6 episodes, which is 5 more episodes now. So, yeah, check those out. I really enjoyed the first episode of Falcon. That was excellent, right? WandaVision took too long for to start. This shit 2 minutes in, bam, right there. Great show, Justice League. Movie, not so good, but the podcast was excellent. So definitely go check that out, thecoalition.com. That's it, people. We are done for this week. So make sure you follow us on Twitch and Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, join the Discord. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this little episode of ours. You can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. And you can visit throwdownshow.com to listen to past episodes. Links to everything down below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
Just
And Brian Manjoma.
So now I've entered the Elder Races. It's time to slap around some dragons.
Oh, shit. Let's go.
Oh yeah, those
I'm
get
going to have
good.
to join Brian on this one of these, man. All right, people. See you on Thursday. Later.
Peace.
Leaders.
Haters.
Deuces.